Okay, so social mobilization is the process of organizing community members to take collective action to solve a problem through collaboration and teamwork. Smartphones are a way of using some social mobilization because they use apps to influence people to work towards a cause or to get financial incentive. All right, so one example of social mobilization in the article Six Degrees of Mobilization is the challenge of the red balloon. It was staged in 2009 by DARPA. Its aim was to determine how quickly and efficiently information can gather through social media. The challenge was to find 10 red balloons throughout the United States. The prize money was $40,000. The winning team was led by Manuel Sabrian and Sandy Pentland from MIT, and they found all the balloons using an incentive strategy to encourage participation. They would send people to coordinate to find the balloons and give them rewards based on how many they found. The rewards went up from $500 to $2,000, and so on. The second example of social mobilization challenge is also with DARPA. It's a competition called the Tag Challenge. The goal was to locate and photograph 5 people wearing unique t-shirts throughout 2 continents, and they had to find the people within 12 hours. This challenge was a lot harder than the Red Balloon Challenge because people were in crowds and were a lot harder to spot. Dr. Rowan's team built a website and app to make it easier to find the people. They've offered $500 to each finder and recruited some under $100. Although the reward was limited, the strategy was very effective and they were able to win the challenge using Facebook and Twitter. Next topic, the Asher effect. The tendency for individuals to blindly follow the decision of the majority. The aim of his study was to figure out how participants react when all the Confederates give different judgments to the one the participants judge as correct. The problem with his experiments was that out of 18 trials where the Confederate gave the same wrong answer, only 1/3 of the responses gave the real answer, meaning they all conformed to the majority. The solution for this problem was given by the scientists, Japanese psychologists Kazao Mori, Miho Aozai. They replicated Asher's study with 4 participants, having them all wear different glasses, meaning that whatever they saw would be their own version of the correct answer. This new change was very effective because they each participated. So, Mori and Arais both solved the problem, and the result was that for the female participants, the level of conformity matched Asher's original research, while for the male participants, they were not swayed by the majority decision, and the conformity rate was very low. But in groups where conformity was the highest, all the participants knew each other, while in groups where conformity were the lowest, the participants were all strangers. Alright, our next topic is positive crowd mentality. Gustave Le Bon argued that the power of crowds was enough to swallow in a person's identity, leaving them behind as an empty shell. And in the article, how being part of a crowd can change you for the better, they talk about how crowds have a bad reputation because of the crowd mentality and how people just solely follow the group's goal and not their own. So, in a psychologist's paper titled The Social Psychology of Protest, a team of psychologists argued that a protest can be a form of validation. It says that it can illuminate the state of anger and give the human face an identity and make them comfortable with others because they all share a similar goal and fate. A writer called Amanda Crowell says that meeting other protesters and hearing their stories and laughing together helps individuals feel closer to the group, and it can help them find a purpose in life and a pride. Next topic is the Stanford Prison Experiment. In August 1971, a group of students were arrested and hauled to a prison, which was actually the basement of the psychology building of Stanford University in California. Through a coin flip, they were randomly assigned as guards and jailers. The experiment was created by Zim Bardo. He wanted to figure out how people would react if they were enforced in situations that would make them act completely different from how they normally would. And he concluded that giving power to regular people makes them act like tyrants and become, uh, well, tyrants. Peer pressure has both positive and negative effects. Being part of a group can be helpful to one's judgment because they will work harder, while sometimes the group's goal and judgment can be wrong and the individual can get in trouble. Bond tells us that human beings can earn to defy authority and consider the suffering of others, while in a group way that is immoral. Doesn't mean that standing alone and isolation is the right way to do things, because isolation does not help and can increase mental illness. So it's better for people to find a balance between social activities and individual activities.